Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun.
Okay, well, we're going to bring you into this part of the little project here. We got out most of the things resolved. The next thing we won't need to work on is being able to be more precise with the degrees on this compound. So here's how I kind of worked it out. It's not done, but at least I have an idea of a possible direction. So let's try it out. What I did, and I'm going to get you more centered here, is I took the compound off and I put this little piece of wood in at the exact center point of the rotation of the compound. And I'm thinking, well, I just buy a piece of brass and extend the degrees, and you can't really see that, but extended the degrees all the way out to about 8 or 9 inches. And and I did that, and we've got something, really, in reality, this lathe and this compound is only going to go 5 degrees one way or 5 degrees the other way. Not much more than that. So we're going to work on 10 degrees, maybe 20 degrees if there's room. So I was going to cut a piece of brass this size. In fact, I ordered the piece of brass and it's on its way. But I realized that if this is 5 degrees here, I don't have much room in between. And when I calculate the angle on these things, it's going to come up with so many degrees and so many minutes. And so I need to have more space between each degree. So, I'm thinking about it and thinking about it. How can I do that and without the lathe being absolutely bonkers bulky and me not being able to get in here to do stuff? And then, I'm out for a walk with my wife, and we're talking, and my mind is always kind of going, with situations like this. And I realized, well, what if I take a laser pointer and attach a laser pointer to the compound, and then point the laser, and I'm going to spin you here, point the laser across the room, well, not across the entire room, but at least across some of the room, over onto this shelf here. And on this shelf, just having something standing about this high, and it turns out the lathe literally points right to this edge here. So have something about this high that is at an arch and has the degrees here. Now that means that each degree is about, gives me a good inch. So I can put marks in between the inch at, every 15 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. So how am I going to do that? Just how are you going to get out here and be accurate with your minutes? So more thinking, more walks with my wife, and bang, it hits me. So I have this humongous rotary table that I bought some years back. Well, actually in the early days, probably 15 years ago. And I had one particular project that I was working on that I needed one this big. I got it on eBay for $150, which was really cheap. The problem at the time is that it was going to cost probably about another $150 or so to ship it to me. But it turned out that I was going to LA and to make a delivery. So I just, once I'd made the delivery, picked up some money, went over to the place where this was at and just picked it up, and everybody's happy. So being a rotary table means that I have degrees along here and I have minutes along here. So we're gonna, and out at that point there, if you'll notice, I put a mark right there. In fact, I'm gonna do it in pen. I'm just gonna put a dot, one dot. And then we're gonna go, where are we at? Let me get my glasses back on because I can't see anything without them. We're just gonna go 1 degree to see how much room we have. So, 1 degree, oh, wait a second. There's 0. And there's 1 degree. So it's probably at 3. Yeah. So there it gives me 1 degree. Still not a whole lot, but we got about 3/4 of an inch there. Let's go back to 0. And we're going to go right into the corner. And then we'll go to 1 degree. Yeah, that's going to give me about 1 inch, which is just about right. So let's just go on and do the next one. There's 2 degrees. Three. Four degrees. 5 degrees. That gets us a good start. Now, oh, maybe you can't see that. Let's see. Well, not very well, huh? Okay, there's our marks. So now we're going to jump every 5 degrees just to get our arch going. Well, there's 5. There's 10. Okay, so that's all we need is 10 degrees this way, 10 degrees that way. So let's take it back. Okay, where are we at? 20, 30. Here's our 0. There's 5. And there's 10. So what do we got here? 5, 10, 15. Let's go 15. I'm sure we'll never use it. And there's 15. Okay, we got a bit of an arch going here. Not much of one, just enough to give us a little shelf on that counter. So we're going to cut a piece of wood and see what we got. Okay, well, one of the things I need desperately is to be able to come in real close and see what I'm doing. And I didn't really want to wear a pair of optivisors the whole time. So I got this magnifier, and it looks like it's going to do pretty well. So, and it just kind of sits over the top of the lathe, and it's got a little light on it. Oh, it's very cute. Dimmer, lighter, all the stuff. Anyhow, that's pretty good. Now we're going to come down to here. I have yet to get the laser pointer, which will mount someplace right in here, and will come across to our degree wheel right in here. So that gives me, this is 1 degree right there. So that gives me five separations between the 1 degree. So that would be a fifth of a degree, a fifth of 360 degrees. We'll figure that one out later. But the pointer will hit this, and I will be able to calculate where we're going to go. And I'll take you into the studio and show you how I'm going to calculate that, although I'm almost positive there are trigonometry calculations that I could use much easier. But, you know, math is not my strong suit. So we do a mechanical drawing. All right, well, you can see that I've laid this mandrel out with all of the tapers that want to be in the mandrel. And I think when I'm going to do it again, I'm going to lay it out so that it's like this big, and so that I can really get the angle clearly defined. And you can see here that there is the angle for this part right there. And we calculate the angle out, and it's right there. What does it say? 2 1/5, 2 something. I can't really see it. 2 1/8, 2 1/3. Okay. Okay, trying to figure out how to get this compound fairly accurate, because my customer needs that, you know, like 1 degree 30 minutes or something like that. I don't know exactly what she needs, but at some point or another she's going to give me plans for the beginning of this process. So what I've done is I came in, let's get this straightened out here. I came in and I built a little bracket for the laser gun, and then I came into the compound and put a parallel that's probably about that long and put an indicator on the parallel and got this exactly parallel with the bed, and then came into the laser gun, and we're going to spin you around here. And I think you were part of this other piece that I made, although probably not the finish of it. But this is, you know, probably about 5 feet away. And then we fire the laser gun on it. And you can see that's sitting right on 0. Now, that said, we're all set with that. Now we're going to come in and put back together the stuff that we did off camera. As we put it back together, you'll see where I was going and what I was wanting to do with that. So, okay, we've got the follow rest with the micrometer follow rest going, and that's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to push up against the rod as it gets thinner and thinner, and then it'll help support that. And then, of course, we have our indicator, and this is a tenths indicator, so it will give me some fairly accurate readings. Now what we want to do is put the block that the indicator reads from in screwdriver. And that looks pretty good. Okay, snug. It doesn't have to be square because wherever the indicator lands is where it's going to read from. All right, so now we've got our compound pretty locked in, and I think what I want to do is go ahead and set that. And it doesn't have to be 0 anymore. We're going to get a wrench for that. Let's try a 7. There it is. Okay, so now all right, so next thing is to put the turret on here. That's good. Okay, we'll square that up with the world. And next is the bracket. Now here comes the fun part. rotate this back, put the key in, and put our drive wheel on, or drive pulley. Lock that down. Looks good so far, huh? Now, put our little servo motor in here. There it is. And the cool part is that the motor and the shaft are off center from each other. So, oh, and I took my DeWalt sander here, and I'm going to spin you around. I took my DeWalt sander right there and pulled this belt out of it to see if it would work, and it worked great. This belt is a little bit worn, so I ordered another one for the sander, and I'm going to use this one. So we'll spin back around here. Put our belt on. Tighten it up. Okay, that's pretty much got that all buttoned up. Let's hook up the wires, see how this works. 12 volt DC. There it goes. And it drives this thing at 16 RPM, which is exactly what I want, because it needs to be an incredibly smooth surface. G32, which is pretty smooth. All right, so we got that. And that's in, and that's in, and that's in. What else is there? Okay, well, from this point on, we're working with getting the tailstock in place, and the tailstock literally is going to come up to one spot and live there forever. And in fact, I have a little mark right here. You can't see that, can you? Just a little ink mark for the moment. Once I get everything locked in. Oh yeah, and so I got an extension for the tailstock, and that gives us extra room in case we have an extra long piece. Also, what I can do is I can take this out and, well, not right now, and then separate this and move the whole chuck assembly back to get it out of the way. So that said, I think we pretty much got what we want and brought you back up to speed. So I contacted my customer yesterday and said, okay, we're ready. And you know, this thing can only spin that far, but you know, we're talking about slight tapers. So, you know, back over to the degree wheel. We're going to spin you around. If you look at it, there's 0, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Well, that's 5 degrees. And each mark in between is, you know, there's 4 marks in between. So we've got 15, 30, how does it, 15 minutes? I have to figure it out later, but we'll figure it out. And so we've literally got 8 degrees that we're working with. And I don't see it going beyond 8 degrees. So that brings us to the next close of this whole thing. I'm going to set up this process and get everything squared up and ready to rip. We've got some switches on hand, or on the way, from New Jersey or something like that. And that's pretty much gonna be it. Well, you know, I came to a conclusion after I got it all set up and everything was working pretty well. I mean, I still had a couple of more kinks to work out. But I realized, and I ran my first piece, and it came out okay. But I realized that, you know, I'm at this age where I really don't want to do grunt work, and that's what this is. You know, I'm going to be standing, and it's intense work, too. It isn't like you start it and walk away and come back like the mill. You're on it. You're on it most of the time. And, you know, I'm at the age where I don't want to do that. What I really wanted to do is I wanted to set the whole damn thing up. I know, it's nuts. I probably got 150 hours in this setup. And now I'm going to walk away from it. It just isn't worth it to me. I mean, you know, for me, it would be like maybe 10 hours a week of standing on this lathe, cranking out these you know, different shaped mandrels. And I just don't want to do it. So I'm not gonna. I want to do transfer hubs like that, like the Bonneville salt flat thing. That was fucking cool. And, you know, I want to do things like that. So anyhow, I've walked away from this project. And I'm going to put the little lathe up for sale. Anybody interested, you know, contact me. My email's down below, or you can just leave a comment. That's probably easier. And I'm going to sell the lathe as it is, but if you're interested in picking up this project, I can not only sell the lathe, but I can sell all the tooling that goes with the lathe and the customer. So, hey, contact me if you want. If you're interested, this is Nick Collier checking out.